Welcome everybody. This is my video on the Western Bluebird. The Western Bluebird is one of my many favorite birds to photograph. The male, it's got a deep purplish blue on its throat and its upper part. You know, the chest has like a reddish brown color and sometimes on the back. The bird belly, it has a little bit of a gray color on it. They're pretty easy, to, figure out which one's the male and female. The female, is much duller in color than the male bird. It has a little bit more of a gray color. In addition, it also has a solid gray throat. That's one of the things I think it really stands out. The juveniles, they're a little bit spotty in their color. It's really beautiful, in really good light. The colors really, stand out. This one I found at Cuamaca State Park, the male and female, and I mean the light was really good, and it was during breeding season, so they had already found a home, and they were going in and out of it, so I got a really good chance, to see that behavior and stuff. I really love photographing these birds, and when it comes to like their breeding range, it's about like from southern British Columbia to Alberta, I believe, all the way to the south down to Baja, California. Even it goes as far east as like New Mexico and some parts of West Texas. I think they spend most of their winter, when it comes to the breeding, mostly, in the south. I've actually seen them full time here, in California, where I live in San Diego. I think a lot of that really depends, on the food situation. If they can't find it, obviously they're going to keep migrating, to find the food that they need. But I believe if they have enough, they will hang around in certain areas. Except for the north, from what I understand and read, they definitely, get out of the winter and come, more south. But they do hang around, I think, in the southern areas, at times all year round, depending on the food situation. When it comes to finding them, like, in this picture, you can just look in the holes in trees. A lot of times I believe it's, from woodpeckers and stuff, but I definitely have found them, when it comes to finding them, looking in holes in the trees is mostly, a good way to locate the Western Bluebird. It comes to their diet, I've seen them eat anything from caterpillars to ants to bees to grasshoppers. A lot of times it's the berries. There's elderberry, there's juniper, and the mistletoe is what I've seen them eat mostly. But any insect, I think they would probably eat. But a lot of grasshoppers is what I've seen them. Like I said earlier, it's definitely something I've seen them come across. Even bees. That was really interesting. I don't know how I would like to eat a bee, but if you don't eat the stinger, I think it's probably okay. But they're such beautiful birds. I've been spending a lot of time photographing them in a certain area, that I live by. And I've seen them all year round. One year I didn't see too many, but most of the time, they're there all year round. It's really cool, to watch, their courtship habits. The male, he comes in first, I believe, and he starts building the nest and gets it all ready. And then I've seen, the ones that I showed earlier, where that tree was, where the hole. I saw the male. He would just come in and he would kind of just flutter there in front of the female, and also the singing. I know from what I've read and understand that's how he kind of defends his area, is by singing and letting other males know that that's his breeding area. But these are some of the berries I was talking about, that they eat. And boy, let me tell you, they devour these things really quick when they come across them. So they don't last too long. But yeah, they're beautiful birds. If you've never seen them, it's definitely, I would get out and try to find them. You can use apps and stuff like eBird and Audubon, to find birds. But I just love them. A lot of times the male, are usually always, when it comes to birds and stuff, they have the brighter colors. But, the females too, I love the colors in the females. They have kind of more of like that, you can see like that kind of reddish, I don't know, it's kind of like a light reddish orange kind of color. In the gray and the lighter blue and stuff. But man, the males, look at that. They just glow sometimes in certain types of light. And it's really fun to watch them flying in and out of, where they've built the nest and stuff. Even if you got birding boxes, I think it's a good thing to do, to help the birds with their habitat, is put out a birding box and just watch them, their habits of going in and out and how, he wants to build a nest. And I was watching one year, the pair that I showed earlier, and he would bring in twigs, and she would throw them right back out the hole. He kept bringing more, though. He kept going back and forth and until she was happy with the nest they were building. But they're definitely, a cool bird. I just love birds, if you haven't noticed. And I always try to get, unique pictures of them. This one I think is one of my top pictures I've ever taken of them. This one's kind of interesting with what was in the background. I thought was kind of cool. And the next one coming up was really fun. It was a bunch of birds out, out in the morning, and they were going in and out of the water and stuff. And he has kind of like a little drop and a little star shape in his eye. But I had a lot of fun, photographing, learning about these birds. If you're not familiar, with the Audubon app and stuff or eBird, I'm always trying to share and get people to use them. I come across a lot of people, when they see my pictures, like, man, how do you see and find all these birds? And, I'm like, well, I learned from Audubon and eBird, and, just got to find out the information of where they're at. And that's what's so great about technology now. We have all these great tools that we can get out and find these birds. And it also gives us knowledge, how much, conservation stuff we need to do. Because, I believe we need to, protect all our animals and their homes and stuff. We keep building on their homes. They're not going to have anywhere to live. And that's not going to do any of us, any good. So, but anyway, I really hope you guys liked this short little video on Western bluebirds. I'm trying to make some more on information on the birds and stuff that I photograph. If you would like to learn more about what I do, you can check out my blog. It's michaelvancepemberton.com. I hope you guys are having a good day. See you later. Bye.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.